that point, they're called, I guess, final drafts.
Okay. Supervisor Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So to Ms. Glassy, so documents submitted today by the public, some of the topics we've been talking about, do those become part of the final EAR/general plan update? What does the staff do with materials submitted during this process?
I'll let the staff answer that, but I'll say one of the things this meeting represents is kind of, if you will, an easy way of getting public comments on the record, because they go on the record and then they are formally responded to because it's during the public comment period. But if staff could say exactly how you respond to comments and how they get included.
Let me go ahead and submit this. This is a slide that we wanted to include in the PowerPoint that would help describe the process in a little more detail. We weren't sure if it was going to bog down the process too much. And then we do have copies available for the public as well. Hopefully we've made enough. The general process is that obviously all comments are due by November 3rd unless you deem otherwise. Staff and PMC, the authors of both the general plan and the EIR, will create a matrix of comments, and all comments will be addressed. Staff and PMC will review, prepare responses, and recommend changes to both the GPU and the EIR. A response to comments is required by the state in the final EIR, and recommended GPU changes will be prepared and circulated for the public. We're looking at mid-January. The Planning Commission at that point, so this then that document would be available for public review, and it would be available at the time of the Planning Commission review and consideration. They will also make recommended changes and receive public testimony before forwarding their recommendation on to of the EIR and you in February. Then a red line version of the GPU version that the recommended changes that the Planning Commission would make would then get forwarded to you as well. Just as a final note on the process, the EIR needs to be approved before the general plan document can be finalized. So this is the basic steps that we would be following. So all comments made and recommendations would be apparent in a document for public review, both on the GPU and the EIR. Our goal right now at this juncture is by mid-January. And then that would be made for public circulation. And then that would begin then with the Planning Commission by February.
Okay. Concerns of the board? Okay. John McCowan, followed by Tony Orth.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the board. John McCowan, speaking as an individual. This has been a very expensive and drawn-out process, and although ostensibly it's an update, there have been wholesale changes made to the general plan. The actual implications of those might not be too far-reaching. So then the question is, why have we gone through all of this very involved process to come up with something that doesn't really make that many changes? So I think that the Board of Supervisors has some policy decisions that they ought to discuss and give some direction prior to proceeding further down this path, because I'm concerned that we may have a very flawed document here. And I will agree with other speakers who have called for an extension of public comment time for purposes of continuity. I think I would also call for putting this process forward far enough that the new board will be able to give that direction regarding what steps are going to be taken. I think that should be part of the input prior to going forward with preparation of the final environmental impact report. Thank you.
Tony Orth, followed by Bina Kolinsky.
Hi, I'm Tony Orth, representing myself today. However, as a LAFCO commissioner, this is an example of a municipal service review, And currently, this is adopted for the city of Fort Bragg, and it contains more usable information than the draft for the general plan. The Attorney General of the state of California has been holding workshops throughout the state, and I'd like to put this on record. And it does set the standards for addressing climate change under current law and to avoid any lawsuit challenge to an adopted general plan that's in process. There will be no legal challenge before the year 2010, but any general plan that's in process that does not comply with these provisions or guidelines can be so challenged. So today that's my only input, and the Brook Trails subdivision township will be addressing this tomorrow, and we'll also be asking for an extension of time. Thank you.
Bina Kolinsky, please.
Hi, my name is Benna Kolinsky, and I'm here from Anderson Valley. I agree with everyone who's come up here to ask for an extension. I'm also here to ask for an extension of time so that I could be a more informed city